And no, you're absolutely right. And Nikhil, the government, many are saying, is wrong. They first set up a joint draft committee, did not take majority of those suggestions, and then just sent their own suggestions to the cabinet and then to the parliament.
Yeah, I think the joint drafting committee never functioned as a joint drafting committee. It functioned as two separate committees. But I think that even in your poll, the choices you've given, and even if the Jan Lokpal were to go as a whole to Parliament, and the only two considerations would be Jan Lokpal or the government Lokpal, I think there are many problems on both sides. And therefore, your suggestion that they should have been much more open to getting in many critical suggestions. If you ask anyone in the country, should no one be above the law? Everyone will agree. Of course, the lowest should be covered, the highest should be covered, the judiciary should be covered. But under one body, is that practical? Is that possible? Is that necessary? Is that advisable? That we have everyone coming under one possible body. I think there are very serious issues to be considered when you come down to drafting of a law and how that law is to work. You can say Pradhan Mantri se Peon tak, but actually if you go from the PM to the Peon, can that one body properly do that kind of role?
Or will it become some kind of a Gestapo? But
exactly. Therefore I think many of your questions, including, and I think I agree entirely that we should have Lokayukts. But even the Lokayukt, will it only cover the chief minister, or will it cover the peons and the chief minister in the states? So you need actually two separate bodies. You cannot have grievances handled by this huge, as it is a huge body.
No, but there are suggestions that you have various subsectors and subsegments.
But not within the Jan Lokpal.
Mr. Subramaniam, was the government wrong in just sending their own draft to the cabinet and then to the parliament, or should they have incorporated the Jan Lokpal and let the parliament decide?
I think you have to look at it in a broader perspective. The government does not want a Lokpal bill. It's as simple as that. 45 years back, the proposal came, they filibustered. And whatever you may think of Anna Hazare, he has brought the issue onto the table. And if Anna Hazare had not burst onto the scene, next 50 years we would never have seen a Lokpal. So the government, why should a person enjoying, without any untrammeled powers, without any checks, without anybody asking questions, want somebody sitting in judgment over his head? So therefore, they are trying all possible tricks to derail, to deflect, and to attenuate, and to make the powers thin, etc., etc. But I suspect now that the more they flail, the more they object. I think they are strengthening the public mind that we need a stronger bill. I think what government has done is wrong here. And yes, it is just not Anna Hazare bill versus government bill. They should have got a larger group together, used both these as the base, created a kind of consensus and gone to parliament. See, the problem with the parliament is, with due respect, Nambalaji, the problem here is, we say let parliament decide. Is highly holier than thou. Anybody question that is anti-democratic, anti-parliament, anti-people. Now, nobody in parliament, to a more or less degree, wants a Lokpal, because it cuts across all party lines. This now, any Lokpal is going to be a Damocles sword hanging over every state chief minister of all parties, every central minister, etc., etc. So you will find very weak enthusiasm, low enthusiasm. I don't mean any disrespect. I'm saying therefore I think it is necessary for the public now. You know, who the public are? They got a right to put pressure on parliament, saying we're watching you carefully now, and she is right. We need a strong Lokpal, not necessarily a version B. We want a composite version, but a strong Lokpal.
Okay, so will the BJP also go soft? Because off the record, several BJP leaders have said that, perhaps having the Prime Minister in the ambit of the Lokpal, not such a good idea. In what Anna Hazare is doing is not such a good idea.